You're 19
Sensei,
years old.
may I?
You're standing
You
in
may.
a small
Proceed with
room in
care.
Kabukicho, Tokyo's red light district. There are 7 men surrounding you. All of them are covered in tattoos. Full-body tattoos. Dragons, koi fish, cherry blossoms. They're yakuza. Japanese organized crime. The oyabun, the boss, sits in front of you. He's 60 years old. His tattoos cover everything except his hands, feet, and face. He asks you one question: are you ready to die for this family? You say yes. He hands you a tanto, a short blade. He places his hand on the table, palm down. He tells you to cut off the tip of his pinky finger. This is Yubitsume, the ritual. If you do this, you're yakuza for life. If you refuse, you walk away and never come back. You grip the blade. You position it above his finger. And you cut. This is level 1. This is how you become yakuza. And once you're in, you can never leave. You're 19 years old. You grew up in Osaka. Poor neighborhood. Your father was absent. Your mother worked 3 jobs. You dropped out of high school at 16. You've been lost ever since. Working dead-end jobs. Convenience stores. Construction. You're invisible to society. But then you meet someone. An older guy. Mid-30s. Covered in tattoos. He buys you drinks. He treats you with respect. Something nobody else does. He sees potential in you. He asks if you want real work. Real money. Real family. You say yes. You become a chinpra. A street punk. The lowest rank in the yakuza hierarchy. Your job is simple. You collect protection money from local businesses. Restaurants. Bars. Pachinko parlors. The businesses pay monthly fees to the yakuza. In exchange, the yakuza protects them. From what? From the yakuza. It's a racket. But it works. You go door to door. Your payment is due. Most pay willingly. They know better than to refuse. One restaurant owner tries to negotiate. Asks for a discount. Your senior slaps him across the face. You pay the full amount, or we burn your restaurant down. He pays. You make 200,000 yen per month. About 1,500 US dollars. It's more than you made at any legitimate job. But you're also expected to be available 24/7. If your senior calls at 3 a.m., you answer. If he tells you to beat someone up, you do it. No questions. This is giri. Duty. Obligation. You owe everything to the yakuza now. They gave you purpose, identity, family. And in return, you give them your life. Your individuality doesn't matter anymore. You're part of the kumi now, the clan. After 6 months, you're called to a meeting. The wakigashira, the second in command, is there. He asks if you're ready to become a full member. To undergo the sakazuki ceremony. The sake cup ritual. You say yes. The ceremony is formal. Traditional. You kneel before the oyabun. He pours sake into a cup. You drink. He drinks from the same cup. This bonds you as oyako. Father and son. You're no longer an outsider. You're yakuza. And they mark you. You begin your Irezumi. Your full-body tattoo. It will take 2 years and cost millions of yen. The pain is unbearable. But the tattoo is your badge. Your identity. Once you're marked, everyone knows what you are. Yakuza tattoos take over 100 hours to complete and are done by hand with bamboo needles. The pain is extreme and many give up halfway through the process. But finishing the tattoo is a matter of honor. Leave a like if you had no idea that Yakuza culture was so deep. You're 22 years old. You've been a full member for 3 years. Your Irezumi is complete. A full-body suit. Dragons on your back. Koi fish on your arms. Cherry blossoms on your chest. Peonies on your thighs. The only parts without ink are your hands, feet, face, and a vertical strip down your chest. This is so you can still wear a suit in public without the tattoos showing. You look like a businessman. But when you take off your shirt, you look like a warrior from feudal Japan. The tattoos cost you 8 million yen. About 60,000 US dollars. You paid in installments over 2 years. The pain was worse than any beating you've ever taken. Your role has evolved. You're now a wakashu, a younger brother. You manage a small crew of chinpra. 5 guys under you. You control a territory. 3 blocks in Shinjuku. Your crew runs protection rackets. Underground gambling. Loan sharking. You also oversee a soapland. A legal brothel. The yakuza own dozens of them. The women working there are independent contractors. Technically. But the yakuza take 40% of their earnings. It's exploitation. But it's profitable. Your crew brings in 10 million yen per month. About 75,000 US dollars. You get to keep 10%. That's 1 million yen. About $7,500. You're making real money now. But the Yakuza life is more complicated than people think. You're not just criminals. You're also community. When the 2011 Tohoku earthquake hit, the Yakuza were the first responders in many areas. Before the government. Before the Red Cross. You loaded trucks with food, water, blankets. You drove them to devastated areas. You handed out supplies to survivors. No questions asked. No payment expected. This is ninkyō dantai. Chivalrous organization. The Yakuza see themselves as modern-day samurai. Helping the weak. Fighting the powerful. Of course, this is also PR. Good publicity helps the Yakuza maintain public tolerance. But you also do terrible things. A debtor owes your crew 5 million yen. He can't pay. He's been dodging you for weeks. Your oyabun orders you to make an example. You find the debtor at his apartment. You and 3 other wakashu. You don't kill him. That would be too much heat. But you break his legs. With a metal pipe. You hear the bones crack. He screams. You leave him there. The message is sent. 2 days later, his family pays the debt in full. Plus interest. This is the reality. You help earthquake victims in the morning. You break someone's legs in the evening. Honor and violence. Tradition and crime. This is Yakuza. When the 2011 earthquake hit Japan, Yakuza were faster than the government in delivering aid. They opened their offices as shelters. Organized crime doing disaster relief. The world is more complicated than good versus evil. Japan. You're 28 years old. You've proven yourself. You're disciplined. Loyal. Profitable. The oyabun promotes you to shati. Senior younger brother. It sounds contradictory, but Yakuza hierarchy is complex. You're still below the kyōdai, older brothers, and the wakagashira, underboss. But you're above the regular wakashu. You manage a larger operation now. You oversee a shabu distribution network. Shabu is methamphetamine. Crystal meth. It's illegal. But it's hugely profitable. Japan has a meth problem. And the Yakuza supply most of it. Your network operates carefully. You don't sell to kids. You don't sell near schools. These are the Yakuza's unwritten rules. You're criminals, but you have codes. The meth comes from China and North Korea. It's smuggled into Japan by boat. Your job is distribution. You have 20 dealers working under you. They sell in nightclubs, bars, underground parties. Your network moves 10 kilograms of shabu per month. Each kilogram sells for 3 million yen. That's 30 million yen in revenue. About 225,000 US dollars. Your cut is 20%. That's 6 million yen per month. About $45,000. You're rich now. You own a luxury apartment in Roppongi. You drive a black Mercedes S-Class. You wear Armani suits. To outsiders, you look like a successful businessman. But the police are watching. Japan's National Police Agency has a dedicated Yakuza task force. They've been building a case against your kumi for 2 years. They have wiretaps, informants, surveillance photos. One day they move. Coordinated raids across Tokyo. Your apartment. Your office. The oyabun's residence. 50 Yakuza arrested in one night. You're charged with drug trafficking, conspiracy, money laundering. You're facing 15 years in prison. Your lawyer is expensive. 20 million yen in legal fees. But the Yakuza take care of their own. The kumi pays for your defense. The trial lasts 8 months. The evidence is strong. Wiretaps of you discussing shabu shipments. Bank records showing unexplained income. Testimony from dealers who flipped. You're found guilty. Sentenced to 12 years. You're sent to Fuchu prison in Tokyo. It's not as bad as you expected. About 30% of the inmates are Yakuza. You're housed in a Yakuza majority cell block. Even in prison, the hierarchy continues. The senior Yakuza run the block. They control contraband. They settle disputes. They maintain order. The guards mostly leave you alone. It's an understanding. You serve your time. You don't cause trouble. And when you get out, you go right back to the Yakuza. Japan has some of the strictest drug laws in the world, yet Yakuza control most of the meth trade. And Yakuza in prison still maintain rank and control their cell blocks. The system is broken by design. You're 40 years old. You served 12 years in prison. You got out at 34. You went right back to the Yakuza. The kumi welcomed you. You didn't snitch. You didn't cooperate. You took your punishment like a man. This earned you massive respect. Within 2 years, you were promoted to wakagashira, underboss, second in command of your kumi. You oversee all operations, all revenue, all discipline. The oyabun is 72 now, semi-retired. He makes final decisions, but you run the day-to-day. You manage 300 yakuza across Tokyo. You control dozens of revenue streams. Protection rackets, gambling dens, loan sharking, construction contracts, real estate, nightclubs. The yakuza have gone semi-legitimate. After the 2011 anti-yakuza laws, it became harder to operate openly. Banks won't do business with yakuza. Landlords won't rent to yakuza. Phone companies won't give yakuza contracts. The government is trying to suffocate you economically. So you adapt. You create shell companies. Legitimate businesses that the yakuza secretly own. Construction companies. Real estate firms. Entertainment agencies. The money flows through these companies. It gets laundered. It becomes clean. You're making 50 million yen per month. About $375,000 US. You live in a mansion in Kobe. You have a wife. 2 kids. They go to private schools. To them you're a businessman. They don't ask questions. But you also maintain traditions. Every year your kumi holds a matsuri. A festival. You rent a shrine. You invite the community. There's food. Games. Entertainment. Children play. Families celebrate. And in the background, yakuza in full tattoo regalia walk around. Showing respect to the shrine. Making donations. This is how the yakuza maintain public image. You're not just gangsters. You're part of the community. Protectors. Providers. Of course, this is also strategic. Good relations with the community mean fewer police complaints. Fewer investigations. It's business. But the international pressure is increasing. The U.S. Treasury Department sanctioned your kumi. Froze assets. Banned American companies from doing business with you. Interpol issued notices. You can't travel internationally anymore. If you step foot in America, Europe, or most of Asia, you'll be arrested. You're trapped in Japan. And in Japan, the walls are closing in. The anti-yakuza laws keep getting stricter. Younger Japanese don't want to join. The yakuza are aging. Dying. Your kumi used to have 5,000 members in the 1990s. Now it's down to 800. The era of the yakuza is ending. And you know it? Yakuza membership has dropped 70% since 1990. The Japanese government's anti-yakuza laws are working. In 20 years, the yakuza might not exist. The end of a 400-year-old criminal tradition. You're 50 years old. The oyabun died. Heart attack. He was 75. He had no sons. No clear successor. But he had told the kumi before he died, Wakagashira will lead after me. So you become oyabun. The godfather. The boss. You oversee 800 yakuza across 3 cities. Tokyo. Osaka. Kobe. You control an organization worth billions of yen. You're one of the most powerful men in the Japanese underworld. But you're also a target. Rival kumi want your territory. The police want you in prison. International law enforcement wants you sanctioned. Everyone wants you gone. Your life is paranoid. You have bodyguards 24/7. 6 men. All armed. All willing to die for you. You change where you sleep every night. You have 5 safe houses. You rotate between them. You don't use phones. Too easy to wiretap. You communicate through messengers. Face-to-face meetings only. You trust no one completely. Not your wakagashira. Not your kyodai. Not even your wife. Because in the yakuza world, betrayal is common. And betrayal of the oyabun is rewarded with power. So you stay vigilant. Always. You also maintain relationships with politicians. You donate to campaigns. You provide security at events. You solve problems that politicians can't solve publicly. In return, politicians give you advance warning of raids. They block legislation that would hurt yakuza business. They turn a blind eye to certain operations. This is how the yakuza survived for 400 years. Not by hiding. By integrating. By becoming part of the power structure. You're not separate from Japanese society. You're embedded in it. And that makes you impossible to eliminate completely. But the pressure is unbearable. The Yamaguchi-gumi, the largest yakuza organization in Japan, just split. Internal war. Hundreds of yakuza killed. The violence is bad for everyone. Brings too much police attention. You call a meeting with other oyabun. 5 major kumi represented. You negotiate a peace. Territory divisions. Revenue sharing. Non-aggression pacts. It's like the Mafia Commission in America. Organized crime organizing itself. The agreement holds. For now. But you know it's fragile. One ambitious wakagashira could start a war tomorrow. Then the government strikes. A new law. The Organized Crime Exclusion Ordinance. It makes it illegal for legitimate businesses to work with yakuza. Banks must close yakuza accounts. Landlords must evict yakuza tenants. Phone companies must cancel yakuza contracts. Even hospitals can refuse yakuza patients. The government is trying to make yakuza unable to exist in modern society. And it's working. Your members can't rent apartments. Can't open bank accounts. Can't get phone contracts. Some are becoming homeless. Living on the streets. This is the beginning of the end. The Japanese government made it illegal to do business with yakuza. Banks, landlords, even hospitals can refuse them. Imagine being legally excluded from society. That's the situation now. Total economic warfare. You're 55 years old. You've been oyabun for 5 years. And then they come for you. Not Japanese police. American FBI. They've been building a case against you for 7 years. Money laundering through American banks. Wire fraud. International racketeering. The U.S. government considers you a transnational criminal organization. They want you extradited. They want you in an American prison. Japan usually doesn't extradite Japanese citizens. But the pressure is intense. The U.S. threatens economic sanctions against Japan if they don't cooperate. Japan caves. You're extradited. You're flown to New York. Rikers Island. You're held there for 2 years waiting for trial. It's hell. American prison is nothing like Japanese prison. It's violent. Chaotic. No order. You're in protective custody because you're high profile. 23 hours a day in a cell. 1 hour of exercise alone in a cage. You're isolated. No contact with your kumi. No contact with your family. The American government seized all your assets. Your mansion. Your cars. Your bank accounts. Everything. Your wife divorced you. Took your kids. Changed their names. They want nothing to do with you. You're alone. The trial finally happens. The evidence is overwhelming. Wiretaps of you discussing drug shipments. Bank records showing $500 million moved through American banks. Testimony from yakuza who flipped. Some of your own kyōdai testified against you. Betrayal. The jury deliberates for 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. The judge sentences you to 40 years in federal prison. You're 57 years old. You'll be 97 when you get out. If you live that long. You're sent to ADX Florence. Supermax. The same prison where cartel leaders and terrorists are held. You'll spend the rest of your life in a concrete box in Colorado. Alone. Forgotten. But even from prison you try to maintain control. You send messages through your lawyer. Coded letters. You still try to give orders to the kumi. But back in Japan things have changed. A new oyabun was chosen. Younger. More aggressive. He doesn't respect you. To him you're the past. A relic. The kumi is moving on without you. Your legacy is being erased. The organization you gave your life to has abandoned you. This is the reality of yakuza. Loyalty is conditional. And when you're no longer useful you're discarded. You're 68 years old. You've been in ADX Florence for 11 years. You'll never leave. You had a heart attack 3 years ago. The prison doctors saved you. Not because they care. Because they need you alive. You're serving a 40-year sentence. They can't let you die early. You have to suffer every year of it. You can barely walk now. Your knees are destroyed from decades of sitting seiza. Traditional Japanese kneeling. Your hands shake from nerve damage. Your memory is going. Early dementia. Maybe Alzheimer's. The prison doctor says it's stress-related. A lifetime of violence catching up to you. You think about your life. You joined the yakuza at 19. You're 68 now. That's 49 years in the yakuza. Half a century. You killed 7 people. Ordered the deaths of 30 more. You ran criminal operations worth billions of yen. You had 800 men under your command. You were feared. Respected. Powerful. And now you're alone in a concrete box in America. Nobody visits. Your wife remarried. Your children changed their names. Your kumi replaced you and never looked back. You have nothing. You are nothing. You read about Japan sometimes. The prison library gets Japanese newspapers. The yakuza are dying. Membership is at an all-time low. The yamaguchi-gumi split into 5 factions. They're at war with each other. The Sumiyoshi-kai is collapsing. The Inagawa-kai is barely functioning. The anti-yakuza laws worked. The government suffocated the yakuza economically. Young Japanese don't want to join anymore. There's no future in it. In 20 years the yakuza will be extinct. A 400-year-old tradition erased by legislation. You're one of the last oyabun from the old era. The era when yakuza were powerful. Respected. Fear. That era is over. You're a relic. A dinosaur. And you'll die in this prison. Alone. Forgotten. No funeral. No ceremony. No honor. Just another dead prisoner in an American supermax. The Yakuza promised you family, brotherhood, honor. They gave you violence, betrayal, and a life sentence in a foreign country. This is the end of the Yakuza. And this is the end of you. This is the rank system, where we show you every level of the world's most dangerous hierarchies. The Yakuza promised honor, family, and tradition. They delivered violence, betrayal, and extinction. If you made it this far, hit subscribe. Next week, we're breaking down every rank in a human trafficking organization. The darkest hierarchy we'll ever cover. And remember, the Yakuza are nearly extinct now. Japanese anti-Yakuza laws worked. Membership dropped 70% since 1990. In 20 years, they might not exist at all. Sometimes the law actually wins. This is education, not glorification.